What's going on? So today we're going to be talking and we're going to have a conversation about traveling tips, as you can see from the title. So I recently went to St. Thomas, which is part of the U.S. It's the U.S. Virgin Islands. So the great thing about that is that you don't need a passport in order to travel. So someone like me who is still working on, who's a British citizen here, living here in New York and working on a whole bunch of crap in order to be able to travel international, right now that was one of the best options for me. So it's a lot of things that I've discovered being that I was traveling, because I'm such a Google fanatic and a freak that I was just like making sure that I had everything down packed, and I take things very seriously and I'd like to make sure that I don't forget everything. So I wanted to give you guys some of the tips that I actually used in order to make traveling so much easier for myself. I also have multiple allergies, as some of you guys may or may not know. It's been about 4 years now since I've been living with multiple allergies of common things like, like trees. Of course, I have the whole hay fever thing going down. But then I also have allergies for different things like wheat and corn. Some of them range from mild to severe. Shellfish, peanuts, rice, blueberries. What else can I say? Cats. So yeah, it's ragweed, like a lot of different things. So I try my best to avoid those things as much as possible. And like I said, some range from very mild to severe. Of course, the severe ones are the ones that I really gotta watch out for. Some of the others just kind of irritate my eczema, which I can live with as long as I can breathe. And of course, I have to walk with my medication wherever I go as well. So in order to not bring on anxiety attacks and things like that, that's why I came up with this list of things that I kind of came up with. So anyway, so kind of a good thing to do is always to research where you're going and know exactly what the requirements are for you to be able to get where you're going. So like I said, with this particular place, you're able to just use a passport. You're just able to use a driver's license, which is great. If you're going to certain other places like tropical islands like Hawaii, which of course we all know that's one of the states, but if you're going to Puerto Rico, that's another place that you only need a photo ID. Also, I just recently read that Guam is another place that you only need a photo ID, and there's another place, I forgot the name of it. It's actually, I think, either one or two other places that no one hardly ever speaks about that you would be able to go to with just a photo ID if you're living here in the United States. And of course, you can also use your passport, but it's not required. It's not something that you need, which of course saves time and money because you don't have to buy a passport. So another thing that I've learned is to definitely be careful with the water, because hepatitis A is one of the things that can actually be transferred through ice, through drinking water that's contaminated with it. So they recommend that you try to avoid ice if possible, and also don't drink directly from the water fountains or from the faucets and things like that. If anything, it's best to get everything bottled. It's just something to kind of keep in mind, not really be too anal about it, but it's always good to know these things, because I didn't even realize that until I was reading around and wondering about it. And I looked on the I think it was the TSA website, where it tells you things to kind of watch out for, so you can kind of be aware of what types of flus and things of that nature they have out there. For St. Thomas, the only thing they said to kind of be mindful is the mosquitoes. And of course, you can transfer different things through the mosquitoes because they go through your blood. And they also said you can catch hepatitis A, so it's good to get a shot before you travel to that place. So another thing is that it's good to give yourself about 2 hours to go through inspection, because here in New York, here in New York is where I can talk about. They did check our bags had to go through scanning. Darn, I have to change my... And then you have to go through the scanner. Another odd thing that they did was I had on some nails and they rolled this thing on my hand, and I'm like, why did you do that to me and not anybody else? And the guy said it's because they were checking for chemicals. I was like, oh my gosh, if they would have said there was some kind of chemicals on my fingers and them, I would have said, you know what, pop, 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 and pop them right off. But luckily it was nothing that showed up, and I was good to go through. And there's so many different checkpoints, and they keep on checking your ID card, so it's always good to keep your ID somewhere that it's easy accessible, that you can just, okay, here we go. And certain places, before you go to, like, before you should check the websites of the airlines to see if they charge for your carry-on, or if they don't charge, I mean not your carry-on, if they charge for your luggage or if they don't. Some of them, like JetBlue, doesn't charge for it. Then others, like American Airlines, which is what I took, so I had to pay that extra $25, they charge for that. And it's a certain amount of pounds that you can have up to. So things like that is definitely good to make sure that you know in advance, so you're not packing too heavy. And you can always check it on a scale, which is something that I did. And yeah, when coming back, do the same thing. Give yourself at least 2 hours so that you can go through customs. And sometimes customs is a little more rigorous when you're coming back, because you're coming back from another place. They checked our bags. They made us take off our shoes. And another thing that we had to do was they actually went through our bags and put a little thing there that said, oh, we inspected your bag. So I'm like, I didn't have anything suspicious. The only thing, I did have 2 bottles of liquor in there, so I guess that's what they wanted to check to make sure everything was all good. So whatever. What else? So yeah, just pretty much try to plan those things ahead. And if you know like what you want to do when you're going on vacation, that definitely helps. If you have like an itinerary, that's pretty good. I mean, that might be a little anal for some people, but it kind of helps and saves time, and you don't really have to research or look like an actual tourist too much. Or at least when you actually ask somebody for help, you can at least know where exactly is the place and what the name of the place is that you're going to. And another thing is to make sure that you have bug repellent. For me, I don't like spraying stuff on my skin because I'm so sensitive, allergies and all those things. So I would definitely suggest, I found this, it was the law of attraction, I tell you, because I had said to some of my friends, like, I hate spraying things on my skin. And then when I went to Lot Less, which is not too far from where I work, they just so happen to have this off that you can just stick onto your bag or stick onto your clothes. You just kind of clip it on and you turn it on. It's a fan that lasts for hours with the batteries in there, and it just kind of sprays out so that the bugs stay away. I tell you, I kid you not, the whole time that I had that thing on, not one bug bite. The last day I left it upstairs for like a couple hours, I got one little bug bite like right here on my hand. Other than that, I was good throughout the whole time. So I'm definitely gonna say that that probably had something to do with it. And every time I was just like this, like putting my bag like this or like that, just to make sure, like if I was laying down on the beach, I had it like on top of me, just to make sure it was like kind of covering me and just surrounding me in that off nastiness that they hate. And it's really cool. It has like refills and stuff like that that you can put in there. So ladies, another thing is to make sure you have your sanitary napkins. You never know. I mean, it's good if you, I mean, some people do have a good schedule, whatever, they know when it's going to happen. So me, I had a whole ton load of them because unfortunately, yeah. But just make sure that you have enough, that you don't have to buy anything over there because you don't know how much it's going to cost. And you just kind of want to make sure you're prepared. So I had some in my carry-on and I had some inside my luggage as well. Okay, another thing is that you can bring food on the plane. Luckily for me, I had made a whole bunch of chicken wraps, and I went to Kmart and I found this little, darn, I should have brought it out here, but it's like a little regular lunch thing that you put your lunch in and you kind of just have the Velcro, you stick it down. But the great thing about it is that it had the ice pack built into it where it lasts for up to 10 hours. So I was able to eat for 2 days based off of what I had brought with me. And I even was able to give some to one of my friends that was there as well. So it just worked out so well that I had that food with me, and it saved me money. It was something that really helped, and I knew what I put into the food, so it helped to save as far as cost. For like 2 days I was able to have, I had my dinner, and then I had something that I could eat, because I'm not really that much of a breakfast person, so I didn't really have to get breakfast. And then for lunch that next day I was good. So I mean, that's something that you can definitely think about, and don't think that you have to eat the food that's on the plane, especially if you have a long plane ride. That definitely helps, because you don't have to, oh my god, I'm so hungry, what can I eat? Oh, and I had made some plantain chips as well, and I had made some regular potato chips as well, all homemade. So I knew exactly what was in there, no preservatives or anything like that. And I put them in, everything was done in Ziploc bags. For the wraps that I had made, I first put them in some clear, what is it called? Is this the clear styrofoam? It's not styrofoam. The cellophane. you know the plastic thing. That's what I did wrap it up in, okay? Then I wrapped it up in that, and then I put it in the Ziploc bag, and then I put them all individually inside there. And yeah, it was just so amazing to have that, and the snacks just came in handy, and I didn't have to buy any little snacks or nothing like that. And then when I went to my granny's house, she had water, so that had me good. I didn't have to buy any water because she helped me out. Shout out to Granny. Make sure that you put everything into like little containers, or if you want to have your whole full size, like a full size powder or full size shampoo, full size body wash, then put them all in your regular luggage, because they're not going to be able to go on your carry-on. That's another thing. Make sure that you have, or if you're allergic to like peanuts or anything, you can always mention that when you get on the flight. I know American Airlines, I found out that they don't even use peanuts. They only use, even their nut bag doesn't have any peanuts in it at all. But you know, sometimes there's other people that might bring it. Hopefully not, but you know, you can't really do anything about that. But you can always mention it if you're on a certain airlines where they might be using peanuts, because then they'll make an announcement, from what I read, to say that this is a peanut-free flight, just to make sure that there's no little problems. And always, like I said, make sure that you have your medicine, your Benadryl if you have allergies, your EpiPen is another thing, and also your regular Claritin or whatever it is that you may use, Flonase, all that other good stuff. See, I rarely use any of that stuff unless it's like an emergency. The only thing that I would use is Benadryl, and I always keep my EpiPen on me as well. Okay, so those are some of the great tips that I had seen. Always make sure that you have your makeup, you know, whatever you need to make sure you look good while you're out there. If you want to switch up your hair while you're out there, make sure you have that in there. Or if you have natural hair, just make sure you have your holy grail products that you like to use at all times. If you have things like nails on, like me, I had pop-on nails, but they lasted throughout the whole trip. But I made sure that I had my glue with me just in case they were to fall off. I had them right inside my carry-on. I had put into some little things like this. I had, like, this is shea butter, but I still ended up bringing my big shea butter anyway, because I knew that this wasn't going to be enough for me. But this was something I was able to carry around. I had a small powder. I had some gel in one of these. I had some regular foundation in one of these. And I had my contact solution. Hair, like things to hold my hair together was another thing that I had. I brought a towel just in case if I went on the beach and didn't have a towel to wear. And I think those were like the main things. And just like a little sewing kit. I had like a regular needle, and I had a thread just in case, if you never know what happens. Something might pop real quick. Hopefully it's the same color as the thread that I had brought with me. I just brought black because that's the most universal. And luckily nothing happened, but it's always good to have those things on hand so you don't have to go to like the store and try to find where they have those things, because sometimes they could be miles and miles away. And what else did I have that is kind of helpful? I had my iPad with me. I had my headphones so that I would be able to listen. I had two types of headphones, my Bluetooth, and then I had the other ones that you can kind of listen to whatever they're playing on the DVD player. So that was pretty good. And those were some of the best things that I can say that I had. And of course, change of outfits. I had more than the amount of days that I was there, because you never know what can happen. Something might go on your clothes. Maybe if you go to parties, somebody might spill something. So you always want to make sure that you have more than what you need. More underwear and bras and shirts especially, and pants and dresses, because you never know if it's going to be hot or cold. Make sure you have those jeans. Even if it's somewhere that's supposed to be hot, sometimes it's cold, or sometimes a little chilly. Okay, so those are basically the tips that I have for you guys. If there's anything else that you actually want to know, then definitely let me know below. I will put a link to the actual video where I did my vacation, my vlog, which is on my other channel, which has my fitness journey on there. It's gonna have vlogs now, and it also has monologues on there when I feel like I want to get a little acting on. Okay, so be sure to check it out. And like I said, I'll put the link down below so you guys can check out my vacation, see all the fun and excitement that I had while I was out there in St. Thomas. Hopefully I can do another one soon or somewhere else. Maybe I'll try Florida. There's like, now I just feel like I want to go so many places, because that just opened my eyes up to a whole new possibility. But you guys will see it on that one. I'm not going to talk too much about the actual vacation here, because everything is over there and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to go over there and you are going to subscribe. I thank each and every one of you guys for being a part of my Samore Lovebugs family. And you know what I always say, be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I will see you on the next one. Laters.